What is going on, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Expected Bets for your go-to podcast for all things hockey betting. I am Gator Betting, joined by my two co-hosts, Franco the Banker and Gretzky Betskis. Guys, to everyone out there who served. Matinee game today, 12:30. I fucking hate this team. I saw a tweet today that pretty much summed it up. That was like, if depression was a hockey team, it would be the Buffalo Sabres. And I think that pretty much sums it up, like pretty straightforward here. Come out flat against arguably the worst team in the league right now. Allow 7 goals. UPL just looked like shit. Our defensemen are so incredibly soft. It's not even funny. We take Dennis Gilbert out of the lineup, who's been our only defenseman to show some sort of physicality. Didn't have a great game on Saturday, but why do we take him out of the lineup? We're on a 3-game winning streak. Yoki Haru comes back into the lineup. Samuelsson comes back in the lineup. Samuelsson's now hurt. Tage is now hurt after tying the league in goals this season. This team is a fucking dumpster fire. There's no fight to that at all. I don't know. 13 years, no postseason. This team infuriates me beyond belief. I thought I'd get off to kind of a good start to the week. Monday, 12:30, we get to beat up on the Habs, and we just put that performance out there, allowing 7. I am just at a loss for words right now. I'm so just like sad and mad with this fucking team that I can't. I'm at a loss for words right now. I hate this team.
Were you surprised they started UPL though? Like UPL's been playing a ton. I thought this was a perfect spot for Levi. It feels like he's overworked. That it was set up for him to fail this game, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I don't know where this came from, of whether Lindy was like, all right, UPL's kind of been our guy, and he's looked pretty good this season. Had a rough start to the season, but the past few games he's certainly looked much better. I don't know what it was today, but every single move he made, all of his, whether he slid across the crease in whatever direction, his angles were just off completely today. He looked lost out there. I don't know what was going on with him, but it was atrocious. And then our defensive effort in front of the net today is just so, like, we don't move anyone out in front of the net. He couldn't see half those shots. And then we put Levi in to start the third, and they score right away, which is guys in front of the net. Like Dahlin's soft, Power's soft, Samuelsson's soft, Clifton, who was this guy we got from Boston who was going to bring some physicality, he's looked like shit the past 2 seasons. And then on forwards, like, yeah, our third and fourth line have looked good. Benson's added a kind of dynamic to the second line, but this team, I fucking hate them. I fucking hate the Sabres.
By the way, the Buffalo Sabres logo is upside down at the top.
Yeah, it's for a reason. Yeah, they're dead. Yeah, they're dead. Like,
my Utah Hockey Club's not doing much better.
No, but I mean, I don't know what it is. Like,
we're further back in the build, though.
Yeah.
But I think expectations are kind of high for them. Also, we are down 2 of our top 4 defenders.
Yeah. Today just kind of summed up the Sabres as a whole, like, huge home favorite at home, which that was kind of the first red flag, is why are the Sabres like minus 220 at home right now when they should never be to anyone, no matter how bad a team is. The Sabres should never be more than minus 150 on the money line. Like, they just don't give you a consistent performance in any game. So,
you mean how like the Flyers are minus 285?
That was going to be my segue to the first game. that was my first segue into the game, which I guess we'll get to now that the Sabres rant is over. The Flyers are minus 285 tonight, Franco. In what world?
None.
Over any team. And the Sharks have been kind of hot lately. They've won 6 of the last 8.
I know.
Minus 285 tonight. Philly at home. Total 6. Minus 122 to the over. What's stopping you from just taking the Sharks money line?
So is Celebrini out? I wrote about him this morning in my sheet. I loved him for the idea of the point, but the coaching staff are doing that whole thing where they're like limiting the amount of games he plays. So they played last night. Daily Faceoff still doesn't have it listed if he's in or not. So maybe that's the big piece here, because if he is out, yeah, this lineup doesn't look as great, but still they're winning games right now. There's some momentum with this team. They're fun. This is the opposite of what Chicago is right now. There's like young enough guys where there's some excitement. The Celebrinis look fantastic. Smith was getting kind of starting to get rolling here. So yeah, I mean, it in the end of the day, though, this is still a very young team. This is still a team that has arguably the worst blue line in the entire league. Wallman's out too. They're coming off a back-to-back. They beat the Devils, right?
Yeah, Mackenzie Blackwood revenge game.
They gave up 1,000 shots too in that game.
Yep.
It's not it's not like they won and they dominated or anything. Like if Blackwood didn't stand on his head,
he made 44 saves.
Yeah.
And the Flyers, I know they beat Tampa in that crazy game where they were supposed to just absolutely get smoked. But they still need a couple wins. I mean, outside of that game, they only won what?
Well, they took Florida. They took Florida overtime. They were in contention pretty much that whole game against Carolina as well.
Okay, so I mean, so it's really
that was a brutal 3-game stretch for them: Carolina, Tampa, Florida.
Yeah,
and they
came out with a win and an overtime loss and a loss. That's not bad. 3 points in those games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like this could be a trap game. I'm not biting on the Sharks bait here, though. If anything, what you could probably do as sides and totals here, you could probably take Flyers puck line and then Sharks money line as a hedge and probably come out on top one way or the other. And obviously, if it's a 1-goal game where the Flyers win, it's bad news. But
I mean, Flyers puck line -1.5 is -105.
It's -105.
But no. My whole thing is just like the Flyers at 285. I guess the books are saying that it's obviously a terrible spot for the Sharks here. They played last night and they won. But again, what sort of consistency? Same with the Sabres. What sort of consistency have the Flyers shown this season that they deserve to be this big of a favorite?
None.
Yeah,
and I get it. It's everything about the spot. It's the Sharks on a back-to-back, the team being young on a back-to-back, giving up 1,000 shots last night to New Jersey, stealing that win, and then the potential Celebrini being out and Michkov coming back for the Flyers. It's like
that
all these things, and Ursan coming back as well to play. He was out for the last couple games, so they get their best goaltender. You're getting the backup goaltender for the Sharks in Vanacek. So there's a lot of pieces, but still, there's no way I'm backing the Flyers in any kind of way. Like I will go to props, obviously, when we get to that, but no sides for me here. I don't want to back San Jose just because if Celebrini's out, the scoring punch is just severely lacking.
But the Sharks did start their win streak without Celebrini, and he kind of joined halfway through.
That's true.
Yeah, but that's like a shot in the arm for a bad team, That's like you're winning game. I mean, at some point they had to win a game. They lost 9 in a row. So then they win 2 without him, and then he comes back, and then they start. He keeps that momentum going. Do you think they would have won that many games if he was on the roster and they broke the 9-game losing streak with him on it? I feel like that at some point that momentum runs out quicker. This was like getting reinforcements.
Yeah, I mean, my only thing is like they beat Utah and LA to start their win streak. Two good wins. From there, they beat Chicago, which is kind of on that same level of the Sharks team. Lost to Vancouver, beat Columbus, that same kind of bottom tier level. Lost to Minnesota, and then had a miraculous win over New Jersey. So it's not like, besides those first 2 wins, it's not necessarily like they've had a bunch of quality, like if you're college basketball terms, like quad 1 wins. It's like quad 4 wins for this team besides their first 2. So I guess maybe that's where this money line's playing a factor in. But again, I don't know. I just don't trust either side here. So I'm with you, Franco. I'm just laying off completely because it feels like a trap line.
How about this? What about Sharks first period plus a half?
No.
But again, do you trust them in the back-to-back situation?
Because this could be one of those games where the rug just gets pulled out from under them right away, and it's 2-0 Flyers going in the second.
I guess you usually like a back-to-back. You feel it more in the third period, right? Like you still have your legs from last night in the first. You're still feeling good. You're feeling, you got your legs under you.
Yeah,
so
but
it
how
could
many
be like
games?
A draw
How many games do they go? That was a good road period, and it's like the away team's down 1-0.
Yeah,
and they like weather the storm.
Yeah, that's true.
And the home team can't believe they're only up by 1.
Or how about Sharks first period team total over 0.5 or over a half -120.
So San Jose
Ursan coming back after an injury.
If Salabrini's out, I don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the first period money line for the San Jose Sharks this season. They have 2 wins, 8 losses, and 6 pushes. So they haven't been great in the first.
So it's 8-8. It's 50%, basically.
Yeah.
What's the first period over?
No, if it was a push, they would have won. Yeah, so 8-8. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could get that plus a half. It's -145, so it's not like it's a great number or anything.
Yeah.
Just trying to find value where there isn't much,
Yeah, on the road they're 1-5-2.
I think I'd rather do the first period over.
Yeah, -135 is not bad.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the second period over?
I don't know if we have that up yet.
This is one,
That's 188. Second period overs are always
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
You gotta do that live or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but Franco, we'll start with you here. Any props in this one?
All right. Well, I got some stupid ones and I got some real ones. So I'll start with the real ones first. Then I'll go stupid.
All right. Fair
enough. So the real one's gonna be I'm looking at Michkov. Unfortunately, DK doesn't have his props up yet except for goal. So you're gonna have to go elsewhere for his point. But his points -118, goals plus 250-ish around that area. So I like that. Now he's being like punished like tenfold here. So he's been benched 2 games, right? They finally bring him back in tonight in this game, which, theoretically was him versus Celebrini. Obviously, that doesn't look like it is 100% going to be a case. But regardless, they're putting him on line with Ryan Poehling and Richard from the AHL. So,
oh my God.
Like, it's not like they're bringing him back and then putting him back with Coots and Konechny or with Tippett or with whatever. And now, so I have 2 thoughts on this. I have two ways of thinking here. Like, way number 1 is all I keep reading. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'm a Flyers fan. I've been more interested in watching other games than the Flyers this year, to be honest with you. So I'll have them on, but they're not my primary game of nights. And maybe I'm a shitty fan for that, but I'm a realist. I want to watch good hockey, and that's just not what this team is right now. So fuck them. But with that being said, all I keep reading is that Michkov should have 7 to 8 more points this season if the players around him could finish, but they can't because they suck and this roster sucks. So maybe, just maybe, this works in a way, right? Like, the guys he's been playing with aren't finishing. You throw him with these guys, like Richard is going to be hungry, right? This is his second or third game. He did score a goal against Florida the other day. You put him with players that are hungry to actually get stuff done, as opposed to the veterans that just are there for the paycheck at this point. Like, how much juice are you really getting from Couturier and Konechny and Tippett and stuff like that? Game in and game out for this team that just is gonna lose almost more games than they're gonna win. Let's put it that way. So
say it from the rafters, buddy. Say it from the rafters.
I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? So maybe, it's a little bit of a punishment, I guess, but he's still top power play. The Sharks penalty kill, they're giving up a ton of power plays a game. They're like the second most in the league. So they're in the middle of the pack as far as their PGA goes. So I feel like still taking his point and his goal prop, he's going to want to come out. He's going to want to show something after being benched for 2 freaking games.
And don't forget, this means that they can throw him out there against like Jack Thompson and Jan Ruda.
He's not getting the Sharks top pairs, right? Cut down line, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, he may get kind of thrown out more with like Will Smith and Luke Kunin and Barclay Goodrow, and like I mean, Gaudreau's pretty decent defensively, I guess, but he's slow. But yeah, this may, in a weird way, this may open up better opportunities for him to get on board. And I'm on the point too. I took it as a straight. I think I got it minus like 125-ish. On DK, however, and make sure you're using promo code THPN if you're not already on DraftKings. They have a goal scorers boost today, and it gave you like plus 150 on whatever goal scorer you want. Now, I meant to get Celebrini, and I found the guy whose picture wasn't there, and I saw M, and I assumed I was getting Macklin Celebrini here. And lo and behold, I accidentally bet on Mishkov for a goal. I don't mind it, though. Plus 330
No.
With the boost. And again, him and Celebrini at this point are probably the two guys that are going to be in this Calder race outside of Stankoven. And it's, the journalists do vote on this. So it's not just outright whoever had the most points. There is a little bit of a factor of who was the most impressive and who made the biggest impact on their team. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I was going to say, yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's still a lot for Mishkov. I mean, and obviously Mishkov's not throwing in the towel because Stankoven's on a better offense and has more points than him. He's duking it out, and he probably knows that this is the other guy, one of the other guys that's really like up there for Rookie of the Year. So he has extra motivation to play. I don't love that he's on the third line either, but in the end, this is a team that really lacks depth that they're playing against. So in a weird way, it may be better for him as long as he gets the minutes on the top power play. I think he's a great look tonight, especially for a point. But if you want to take that goal, I really like it boosted. I was trying to figure out another goal scorer I like more than Celebrini, and after I accidentally did Mishkov, I think he's one of my favorites to get that extra value out of. I mean, you could go talk and do something like McKinnon and slap that boost on it and get nice plus money value, but there's other ways to get plus money value on McKinnon or Forsberg tonight, So
yeah,
I don't mind it. I mean, it's the Sharks team that's like what, third or fourth in goals allowed. There's a lot to like.
Yeah, so Celebrini's points are listed on DK right now. He's over.
So maybe he's in.
So he is in. Yeah,
it wasn't up earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, Michkov's not listed currently, but Celebrini is. So
that's I like Celebrini too for a point.
Minus 115, over half a point. It's not bad value at all.
He missed last game. I mean, they only scored one goal last game, but he had 2 points the game before that, missed the game before that, had 2 points in his debut. So I know obviously that's like not a perfect trend or anything, but he has the same motivation to show up Mishkov here.
Yeah. Franco, did you have any other looks in this one?
Yeah. So here's my these are my silly, stupid plays today for this game. So we'll see if I manage to hit one or not. This could be all donation money here. But so the first one is one I highlighted this morning that just doesn't make any freaking sense at all. I'm talking about Timothy Liljegren, who I don't know why I'm talking about Timothy Liljegren.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, I saw your tweet earlier.
Oh, by the way, did you see it's Liljegren? Yeah, and he sent a statement to the Sharks media team of like how it needs to be pronounced, which means Toronto media is such a force.
Yeah,
he didn't want to bother. He's just like, fine, whatever. He's like, no, you guys can respect me, please.
That's funny. But anyway, I'm talking about Mr. Liljegren, I guess. So his last 7 games against Philly, he has 4 goals and 3 assists. I do not know why. He has 12 goals in his whole career, or whatever, 15 goals in his whole career. So for whatever reason, a quarter of his goals in his career have come against the Flyers in a mere 7 games. I can't explain it. He averages 2 shots on goal against them in those games. I also notice he's on their top power play right now. So he's going to get a ton of minutes. There are stupider bets to make. This is pretty stupid, though. But plus 950 is not bad at all for him. So I'm going to sprinkle that. And this is nothing big on these, obviously. I'm way heavier on the Michkov point and the Michkov goal. And then I'm also looking at 2 props on the Flyers side that are a little bit silly as well, I guess we'll say. So Emil Andre has been getting top power play minutes for the Flyers the previous game, and he's going to be on the top power play unit this game. Obviously, Michkov was off that top power play the last 2 games, which hurts their goal scoring ability. So adding him back on that top power play, now you have this guy on that top power play unit because Drysdale's out. Unfortunately, you cannot get his power play point anywhere. You can't get his point or anything like that, which sucks. He's getting top pair minutes as well on top of that. So top pair, top power play. His goal prop is plus 1,100. I'm going to sprinkle that. And then I'm going to sprinkle Anthony Richard. Like I said, he's playing with Michkov on that third line. He had a goal against Florida the other day. He's plus 425, so he's a little bit shorter than these 2 defensemen I brought up. But I like the spots for these guys. Just given the minutes, given the line mates they're going to be playing with, I think there's worse long shot bets that you can make than these. And if we hit one, we're looking good tomorrow.
When are we going to get Bobby Brink points back? That was a wagon. I think it was last year, Franco, for a while. He started off the season strong. He's kind of been inconsistent since then. But that Philly's second line has interested me tonight because you have his shots on goal total. You have Farabee's shots on goal total as well.
He's hitting up.
Yep. And then there's a defenseman in Sandheim. San Jose gives up the most shots on goal to defensemen. He's listed at 1.5 tonight, minus 188, which I think is a pretty great parlay piece when we kind of get down that line. But that's kind of where I stand. So between Farabee and Brink, I'm leaning more towards Farabee shots on goal tonight. But I wanted to hear your thoughts on if you had any plays in that second line.
I mean, I could see one of those guys getting there. I do like Brink's talent, but again, they keep shifting the lines every game. So I just worry that the way the consistency works with line mates and stuff like that, that you're not getting any consistency with this team. So it makes it hard for me to really want to back like these more secondary type players. That's why I have a lot more money towards Michkov because I know his talent, right? And I don't really care about the pieces around him. But like these line changes and shifts, I'm not sure if they broke up that line with Brink. I didn't look at what they did there, but if they did, I mean, again, you're just not getting any consistency. But I don't mind any of them at 1.5. I mean, this San Jose team gives up a ton of shots, so this is definitely a team to target. So yeah, pick your spots, but I don't mind them.
Yeah, I like it. All right, any other plays in this one before we move along?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm all good.
All right. On to the next game here. We got Dallas at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is the home dog in this one, plus 140. Dallas minus 166. Total is set at 6.5, minus 112 to the under. Betsky, I'm going to start with you in this one. Any looks in this game?
Size and total wise, not too much here. Pittsburgh's been getting some decent goaltending, so it makes me a little bit concerned to like lean into the over here. So I'm just going kind of straight into props on this one as well. The only one that may kind of stand out for me is Stars team total, but over the last 3 games, they have 6 goals. 1-4 against the Jets. They beat the Blackhawks 3-1, and then they lost to the Panthers in the second game of that series in Finland 2-4. The first game, they got a couple garbage time goals too. That game could have easily been a 6-2 game, but Florida was able to kind of let up by the end of that. And I think they scored twice in the last couple minutes. So that could have easily been another 2-goal game. They've looked a little off. I know I think they got Marchment back and Sagan's back, and Sagan's been red hot too. So I think if you want to go on a side here, I think that Dallas team total could be a nice spot. I don't know what the odds are though.
Yeah, going off that, I like Dallas and Reg tonight. It's minus 105. You look at Dallas's losses as of late, both to Florida, but like you said, not in the States, happening overseas. And Florida has gotten much better as of late after the kind of that Stanley Cup hangover to start the year. They lost to Winnipeg, who's an absolute wagon right now. Mm-hmm. But again, one of those teams, just like Winnipeg, Carolina, who's looked good to start the season, which we get to later, does regular season for those two teams, at least for me, does not matter. They haven't shown up in the postseason the past few years. So again, I'm not putting any hype into these teams until we see that in the months coming. They beat Chicago twice, not great wins. Beat Boston, not a great win. Dallas hasn't looked as dominant as they have to start the season. But you look at Pittsburgh on the other side, lost to Carolina, lost to the Islanders. They beat Montreal and Anaheim, lost to Minnesota, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, and they beat Washington in kind of a rivalry game. Despite Pittsburgh winning, 3 of their last 5, they're not great wins. I still don't think this team's good by any means. I think this is a great bounce back spot for Dallas against this Pittsburgh squad. So I love Dallas at -105 in regulation tonight. But that's what I had. Betsky, did you have anything else?
Yeah, so the team total is over 3.5 goals at -110. I think your only reason why that may be a little bit safer, and depending on how you look at this, is if this does go to overtime at 3-3 and Dallas wins the game 4-3. Again, kind of pick your poison here, but yeah, I don't mind that reg win either.
Yeah,
Franco, any looks for you in this one?
First thing I looked at was the under here, actually. So -112 for under 6.5. A couple things here, but the main point here is that 11 straight games between these two have gone under this number. A couple have landed on 6. I know this was one actually I backed last year. I believe it started out like 3-0 in like for the first period. And I was sweating until the end, but it ended up 4-2. So that for sure is my first play. It's just one of those things where, for whatever reason, it's like going back to 2018. These teams have just not gone over. I don't know if it's just, these are teams that don't play each other much in general, cross conference and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm going to go there. I know it's hard when you see how bad Pittsburgh has been just defensively, but Blomqvist is the better goalie of the ones that they have. It's not by much, but he is the better one, and Ottinger is pretty damn good. So I'm expecting a statement game here from Dallas, though, in general. I think in like all facets of this game, given the recent form of them. Jamie Benn in particular was the guy I had circled because he got in a fight at the end of the game last game against Adam Lowry, kind of, being that guy that wants to say, all right, like I'm here. This is my reasoning for being here, like trying to be that true captain, right? So I could still see them scoring 4, so I don't mind that team total or even that reg win. I think this is just going to be a dominant game from Dallas in general, so I could see like a 4-1 or something like that. So, but yeah, I want Ben props. I know we haven't really gone on the props yet, but that's the main guy I've circled, and his goals at +320 and his point is +100. Top power play unit. Third line with Stankoven and Wyatt Johnston, who we know is better on the road. So I could see him just having a game, one of those statement type games, being the captain and just doing what he does. This guy's been around forever. He knows how to do it. And it's a perfect team to capitalize up against and make a statement against. So like that a lot.
Yeah, anyone on Stankoven shots tonight? He's hit each of his last 3. His volume has been pretty nice, 5, 7, and 10 attempts. And he has been a road dog, hitting in each of his last 4 games. Anyone, and then people are also on Wyatt as well. He's been better on the road too. So I think those are the 2 shots on goal angles tonight in this game, at least for the Dallas forwards. Pittsburgh gives up the 4th most shots on goals against 2 forwards this season. So I don't hate that at all. Before I move on, any other looks?
Yeah, I am on Wyatt shots. I just am trusting the away history here. So he hit in 60% of all of the away games last season, and it's like 77% of his last 30 games on the road. And his volume is just so much better on the road as well. Just snapped a 4-game missed streak against Winnipeg with 6 attempts, and he had 5, 7, and 6 attempts in his last 3. Just feels kind of ripe for a good spot. Now, I did notice Pittsburgh's a little bit better against centers than they are against wingers, but in this case, I don't mind just trusting kind of the history here. One thing that really caught my eye, another guy who's a little bit better at producing on the road is Jason Robertson. He has kind of crazy outbursts on the road. I think he's a little more consistent, with his home play in general for a point, but on the road, you'll start to see more multi-point games. And against Pittsburgh, he has 9 points in his last 5 games against them. So he has 4 multi-point games and 1 just game where he had to miss. His multi-point tonight is plus 300, which kind of looks spicy. And that top line has not been producing much lately. We have been getting a lot more production with Sagan and Duchesne, surprisingly, and then the Stinkov and Ben Wyatt. And I don't even think Wyatt's had many points lately, but that line's just kind of been producing, or those 2 guys on that line have been producing. So kind of feels like a good spot for Robertson to kind of bounce back. He doesn't have a point in 3 games, which is more than he ever had all of last season. The longest streak he had all last season was a 2-game missed streak. So points in that kind of a nice parlay piece at minus 155. But if you want to get kind of spicy with it, 2 points for plus 300 feels pretty decent for a guy who can really light it up.
Yeah, that Sagan prop tonight for over half a point at minus 130 range is also pretty interesting. He's hitting 5 of his last 6, 3 of his 4 to start this season. It's very tempting.
He has 0 points against Pittsburgh in the last 6 games. Not that should scare you off completely, but it's a weird thing. And of course, at some point you have to break that. But I think Duchesne and him are very tempting to me. I'm a little concerned that they've been so hot that it's going to kind of shift where the scoring is coming from. But that's gambling.
Yeah, I mean, if you liked, you said before you liked the Dallas team total over 3.5 tonight too, and you have to figure that line's going to be out there somewhere with the power play opportunities as well. So you're getting a guy in the second line that's been productive as of late at minus 130 range. Not a bad look at all. All right, next game up on the slate, we have LA at Calgary. Calgary is the home dog at plus 114. LA minus 135 on the money line. The total is set at 6. Juice to the under at minus 122. Franco, I'll let you kick us off in this one. Any plays in Calgary tonight?
Side or total wise, I'm not too sure here. It feels like a short price on the Kings given how they played. I'm still not high on this team in general. I still think they're going to be more on the downturn, but I kind of feel the same way about the Flames. They start out the season so hot and they've kind of cooled off a little bit here. So side and total wise, I'm just kind of a little bit indifferent towards. As far as props go, I feel like you have to look at Lafreniere here. Just he's been red hot. You're getting his point prop at minus 115, which just seems stupid, given the amount of minutes he's getting, the people he's playing with. 4 points in his last 3 games played is just crazy. They finally offer us Brant Clark props, and then he hasn't recorded a point since then, I don't believe.
Yeah.
So funny how that works. So I don't know about that one there. And then they don't have his point prop, I don't believe. No. Fogel's been really good recently, man. 2 goals, 2 assists his last 4 games. I thought he would have more history given the amount of times he played against them when he was on the Oilers, but not really popping too much there. But he's another guy, again, I feel like you want to ride these hot players. And I don't know. I'm not that high on the Calgary side in general. So I think I lean more towards the Kings side. I think I'll sprinkle Coronado goal as well. 3 goals in his last 3, averaging almost 3 shots per game along that stretch as well. He's finally getting a little bit more run for this team, so not bad at all given his recent form. I think you're getting his goal prop pretty a nice number right now. Let's see, what's that? Plus 330. So that would be the shot I would take on Calgary side. I'm not looking at their point props otherwise, though.
Yeah, it kind of amazes me right now because you were still getting such incredible value on Trevor Moore and Philip Deneau. Both their point props tonight are at plus money. Deneau has been fantastic as of late. Hit on him on Saturday for over half a point. And again, Deneau point hitting each of his last 5 against Calgary. He's got some pretty impressive history, hitting 5 of his last 6. I mean, this second line is clicking. And they're also, same with Moore, getting time on that second power play unit. The power play splits, between that first and second line unit have pretty much been even. So it's not like they're necessarily running this first line out there for a minute 30 and then kind of giving the second unit the back half of a power play. They're still producing, and it's been pretty closer to a minute aside here. So I like Deneau again for over half a point. Calgary has been leaky as of late too. You're getting that at plus 105. So there's no reason to jump off that bandwagon yet. Also, I think this is kind of the expected bets for matchup of the night. Both these franchises probably hate us after our team previews, where we're both down on both sides. So I'm not sure necessarily we're going to see any signs tonight. But Betsky, any plays in this one for you tonight?
I really like Moore. I like his shots as well.
Yep.
That whole line's been really kind of rolling right now. Fiala has been great with them. So I don't see any reason to jump off of him or anybody on that line, really. Trevor Moore's hit 3 of his last 5 games, and he's averaging about 4 attempts, but he really blew up in the last 2 with 6 attempts in both of those games and 3 and 5 shots. Calgary's pretty leaky to wingers, and he has a decent enough history. But don't forget, this was a guy that, like, at some points last season was hitting at like 60 to 70% on the road. He kind of fizzled off at the end of the season. But if you look at his away chart at the beginning of 2023, it's wild. So this may be one of those hot streaks, and I like to try to catch these early rather than late. So he's hit 2 times in a row. Maybe this is a good time to jump on it right now. And again, with Fiala being on that line, I think they're getting a little extra minutes, and Deneau obviously being a top shutdown guy. Another crazy one here, Jonathan Huberdeau has a point against the Kings in 8 of the last 10 games.
Franco, this is all you. You and Jonathan Huberdeau that could be your second arch nemesis.
He's been really tricky lately. He finally got another assist against Buffalo last game he played. So that means he's sitting at 499 assists. He's great against LA. They moved Kuzmenko down to his line.
This is the game. This is the game.
You take Huberdeau's assist.
Right? Yep.
Yeah. What is his assist at? His points minus 110. His assists, plus 160.
Yep. I'm betting it.
Huberdeau assist plus 160. Yep. There it is.
This is the first time I'm going to bet his prop all year, by the way. So I know Betsky's been burned by him a lot. Looking to grab him. I'm going to do it. Today's the day.
Yeah, he didn't look bad against Buffalo, and like you said, he got a point, but
and they shuffled the lines up a little bit. But don't forget, he was like playing with like Anthony Mantha and who else? Who was centering them? Well, it may have been Popsel, but
I think Kevin Fiala's benching has almost benefited Deneau and Trevor Moore.
Yeah,
more than anyone else on this team too, because that whole line got hot. Yeah. I didn't need to. I kind of just led right into that one, but I'll take it. All right. Any other plays before we move on? Moore and Deneau point. Like those plays.
Huberdeau assists. He's on the top power play unit
plus
again
160.
Too.
Yep. There it is. Hit that. What's the milestone? 500 assists?
Yep.
Yep. So he's at 499 now. So yeah, it's a milestone game. All right. Let's move along to Colorado and Nashville. Nashville, they're not in the rebuild yet. They squeak out a win in their last game.
Barry Trotz
is going to have to plans on pause for maybe tonight's the night. They beat Utah 4-0. But yeah, this team's interesting. We thought they were going to turn things around. They went on a little bit of a 3-game winning streak, and then things kind of fell apart from there. Colorado in this matchup is the favorite at -135. The total is set at 6.5. Juice the over at -115. Betsky, we're going to go to you first. Any place here?
I don't mind the over at all.
Yeah,
I mean that just feels right here. Yeah. I don't know which side you want to trust. I almost lean Nashville, but I just cannot seem to get Colorado right, and I don't know how you can trust their goaltending and defense. I know it's showing up a little bit, but Gorgiev is confirmed, and I mean, game to game, I just don't know how you can trust him.
What has either side shown you that you can trust him? Nashville has been inconsistent as all hell this season.
Has been elite before.
Yeah, but I'm saying this season. Like this season, Nashville has shown nothing. Colorado was hot earlier, have faded since then. They lost to Chicago. They did lose to Nashville. There it is. They lost to Nashville on November 2nd. Colorado tonight. Easy as that. Colorado -135 tonight. There it is. Franco, what are your plays for tonight in Nashville, Colorado?
Yeah, I don't want to take a side here. Like you said, two inconsistent teams. I do lean the over, probably the first period over as well, but I don't think that's going to be bettable. That's going to be like an in-game type of thing. I know everybody's on McKinnon shots today, McKinnon props in general. It's one of those ones that I haven't pulled the trigger on yet. I feel like if I bet it, it's going to lose. I don't know why. Every time you see shit like this, it just seems inevitable. So I'm hesitant on it, but whatever. His 2-point prop is -154, which just feels insane.
It's insane. I know.
You just don't see numbers like that for 2-point props. So I think you're getting a little bit of value on Rantanen at +126 for 2 points. You know, if McKinnon's -154, Rantanen's going to be involved on those 2 points. So don't mind that if you want to go that way for Colorado props. I'm looking at Ryan O'Reilly, though. Former Av has not really been hitting too much recently, but he has a decent history. 3 goals, 5 assists in 7 games versus them, averaging like 2.5 shots on goal along that stretch. So his point prop is -130, which feels pretty good. Maybe you sprinkle his goal for a little bit. Yossi assist as well looks good, -115, 3 assists in his last 3 games. Kind of finally starting to turn it on a little bit. I mean, I think I've been pretty unimpressed by his start to the season. We know he's one of the better defensemen in the entire league, and as much as this team has lacked in their scoring and showing what they should be showing as far as the talent that's on the ice, he's as much to blame as anybody else, I would say. Only racking up 10 points in 15 games this year. So hopefully that's starting to turn, though. Like I said, 3 points in his last 3 games. He has 7 assists in his last 11 versus them, averaging almost 4 shots on goal along that stretch. So again, I think he's due to just kind of start to go on a little bit of a heater here. And you're getting his assist prop at -115, which feels good. Like I said, I think there's goals in this game, so I don't mind backing any guy you like or line you want to target. I think there's value to be had here. You just gotta kind of dig a little deeper.
Yeah, Betsky, any plays for you?
Yeah, I like a lot of those that you mentioned, Franco, but Lehkonen shots is for me. 3 games back, it's hit in 2 of those 3, and he's averaging a whopping 8.3 shot attempts. He had 11 and 4 shots on goal in his first game back against Seattle. He missed against the Jets, even though he had 6 attempts, and then had 8 attempts with 5 shots on Carolina. Kind of shows you it doesn't matter who he's playing against. He kind of took that spot Ross Colton was excelling in and just rolled with it. So I'm going to start riding that while it's still at a bettable price, -120 right now. I think it opened up in his first game back like at +120, and then was down to like +105 against Winnipeg. So that just keeps on going down quick. So jump on while you can.
Add it to my card. I love that.
the one that's really, really. Oh, and Nashville takes a good amount of penalties too. That was one thing I was a little concerned about, but they're like, I think 6th overall for most power play opportunities to opponents. So he should get the PP time he needs. A suspicious one is, why is Yossi 2.5 shots today?
What?
So he's hit his 3.5 line in 12 of 15 games. He is listed at 2.5 today. Obviously, almost every single book you can adjust that, but
at DraftKings he's 3.5.
Colorado, he has hit his 2.5 line in 13 of 15 games against them, but has hit his 3.5 line in 12 of 15. It almost feels like one of those lines the books don't want to just give in and give you plus money value for the 3.5 and are displaying it at 2.5, even though it should be 3.5.
DraftKings 3.5 plus 135 tonight.
And that's not an alt line. That's just his listed line.
Yeah, they might have bumped it. Yeah.
Okay, it may have bumped then, because if you go to certain books, it was about 2.5. It's list. Oh no, wait, I adjusted it. It was listed at props at cash at 2.5, but they may have moved.
Yeah.
But fantastic history. Just like McKinnon against Nashville, Yossi against Colorado is something else too.
Yeah, I mean, McKinnon power play point tonight too. It depends on if it's bettable tonight. I've seen around that minus 150 mark. If you get it around minus 140, I think you take a look at it. But again, if that's that little bit past that minus 150 mark, I think you stay away.
Man, it's crazy.
It's tempting. At
crazy,
over 1.5
like
points,
value as
minus 154, you have to figure they're going to get chances on the power play tonight.
From a power play, yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad you can't parlay power play points.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, Breezy. How you doing, man?
What do you guys think about this? I just threw this together just for fun after talking about all this. Right. So McKinnon 4, Yossi 3, Lehkonen 2. It's plus 206.
Oh, wow.
Take everybody down. Take everybody down a little bit. And
then what?
Yeah.
And then what?
And then you can go ahead and ladder if you want to get crazy. Right?
Yeah.
So the only thing with Yossi, though, is Yossi ladders get complicated really quick because it's not like when he hits this past, 4 games when he's stayed at that 4 mark. And even versus Colorado, which he has great history against, he stayed at that 4 mark. So if you're going to ladder, it'd be like McKinnon ladder, maybe Lehkonen ladder, and then you hold Yossi at that 3 to 4 number. I don't think he's the guy that you're really playing too much with.
Yeah, I don't want to go full. I don't want to go full ladder. I'm not going Yossi like 6 or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
just
no.
Just
but I'm saying you could. Yeah. You could even hold Yossi at like 3 though, and go McKinnon 5 and Lehkonen like 4 or 5 too.
Yeah.
Like those are the guys you're going to want to kind of adjust if you do think they're going to go over that number by a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Any other looks in this one before we get to the last game of the night?
How's everybody feel about Forsberg?
I would say this: if you had that DK goal scorer boost still, I used mine on Tage this morning, but if you have that, I don't think that's a bad look.
Yeah.
Unless we're talking Peter, I'm not talking Forsberg. I'm off him big time. All right.
What did he do to you,
Philip?
He's just hating because he's on cut. He's on Avs.
Exactly. All right. Last game of the night before we wrap up here. We have Carolina at Vegas. Vegas plus 124. A lot of home dogs tonight. Carolina minus 148. Total is set at 6.5. Slightly juiced the under at minus 112. Franco, start us off in the last game of the night.
I cannot split this game, man. This is going to be a hell of a game. I feel like Vegas at home has been fantastic. So, on the surface, I feel like you're getting insane value at plus 124. But Carolina has been good. I mean, we ragged on them in the offseason thinking that they were going to take a step back. I mean, we still thought they were a playoff team. We didn't say they were going to miss the playoffs or anything like that. But I think we all kind of agreed that this team didn't look as good as it has been in the last few years. And so far, they're making us eat our words. We'll see how it goes long term. But you're getting value either way. So, I mean, to me, it's hard to split it, though, really. So I'm going to sprinkle the draw at plus 360. I feel like just because of that. Like, I mean, you could always make a draw case when there's a situation like this. These are two teams out of the same conference, so that adds a little bit to it as well. Typically, those types of games, if it's close late, nobody wants to concede. That you're not making that extra juice or giving that extra juice to get a goal late. You'd rather just get your point and move on, win in overtime or whatever. So I think there's some value there, just given what we've seen between these two teams. We know they can both score. We know they can both have very good blue lines. So, yeah, I think it'll be a good, fun, tight game. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not on a side or a total, though. I don't know if you guys want to talk about other stuff like that before we go to props, though.
Yeah, how is this over not in play? Look at Carolina's last few games: 4, 5, 6, 4, 8. They haven't scored less than 4 goals in each of their last 8 games, and it's not they're conceding 1 or 2 with the rarity as well. But Vegas is scoring a ton too: 3, 4, 4, 3, 5, 7, 6. Both these teams can score. Defenses, Carolina has been better than Vegas defensively, but you look at the goaltending matchup. Hill and Kochetkov. Kochetkov allowed 1 versus Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's a little bit of a slump right now. Before that, allowed 4 to Philly, 2 to Washington, and 2 to Boston. Boston hasn't been great this year. Philly put up 4 on them. So at 6.5, I think the total is a little high. Maybe if a book's offering at 6, you can grab it. I don't think they are. Yeah, I don't mind the total at 6.5 regardless, though. I think this could be a high-scoring affair between these two teams tonight. Betsky, any looks for you?
Yeah, no, I lean that way too here. And then don't forget, historically, Mondays and Tuesdays are some of the highest scoring days of the week. So just something to put in your back of your mind when you're thinking about. While they talked a lot about overs, but
yeah. Any props for you, Betsky? Then we'll just go down the line.
Sure. Jack Roslovic has been fantastic with his shots lately and his point on the top line with Aho and Sergachev. So another one I am willing to ride that wagon for a while. So 1.5 shots, it's like minus 150, great parlay piece. I mean, you could sneak that in with the Yossi 2.5 or somebody else that you really like tonight. He's actually had 3 shots on goal in 7 of his last 10 and 6 straight. His attempts aren't great, so you're really kind of buckling up and hoping he gets there. But his points have been fantastic too. Has hit in 4 of his last 5 with 6 points in those games. Again, if you think there's going to be goals here, why not? Even his goal doesn't look bad because he has a goal in 6 of the last 10 and 8 goals in those games combined.
Yeah, he's played very well this offseason. It was a great signing for the Hurricanes. Franco, any props for you? Svechnikov looks like a great parlay piece at minus 188. But
for shots or point?
Point.
Yeah, point's fine. His shots are weird when he's not with Natchez. I don't get it.
Yeah, the point at minus 188. I was looking at a few trends here. So he's hit in each of his last 8 games and then 4 of his last 4 on the road. I'm not sure what's his history look like against Vegas. Hit in each of his last 2. So if we think there's goals, Svechnikov's going to be on the score sheet. Franco, what are the looks for you?
Yeah, I don't mind that Svech point as a parlay piece. That looks pretty good. So you can make the same case for Natchez point as well. It's minus 168 for a point.
Yeah.
I think I gotta keep going back to Natchez assist though. Plus 122. I don't really get it given who his line mates are. I know he's on the top power play, but I mean, if you were to tell me Eric Robinson would be tearing it up and scoring a bunch of goals assisted by Natchez, I would have laughed at you a couple weeks ago. But sure enough, here we are. They were kind of shifting lines a little bit more the last game. I know Martinook was getting time with Natchez as well. So I'm not sure whether they are. I didn't look at the lines today to see if there's any like official changes, but it had been Natchez with Robinson and I believe Drury, was it? So not or no, it was Kokoniemi. So
yeah,
not really like the type of line you would want to be betting his assist with. Let's put it that way. But he hit it like basically every game with that. So I don't see any reason why you don't come back to it at plus 122. It's great value. I kind of want to go back to Hannafin Point. He doesn't have the best history against them overall, just 2 points in his last 5. He is former Kane, long time ago, of course. But he's been red hot. 5 points in his last 3 games, averaging 3 shots on goal on that stretch. He missed the last game, so I feel like I'm kind of like obligated to go back to it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that like I'm just going to be pissed off when I look at the box score tomorrow and see he has an assist, right?
Yep.
So if we think there's going to be goals here, he's just been so heavily involved. I don't mind going back to him, especially given the value of plus 125 or plus 135 for a point. Feels really good. And then I still am going to keep going back to Dorofeyev. I know this isn't like the type of team to target for shots and stuff like that. I did bet his shots last game and then forgot to post it when I sent my plays out. I bet his shots and goal and both hit. And then I looked at my post and I was like, wow, I didn't post either of these. So, I'm going back to him. Plus 120 for 3 shots. And I'm going to sprinkle his goal prop because that's just like the type of player he is. So, that's where I'm going to be today.
Love it. Did you guys want to put together a parlay quick?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
I had it Svechnikov point at minus 188 for my play. What did you guys like? Also, Michkov points not listed on DraftKings right now, nor any other book.
It was only on FanDuel earlier when I checked
Only
at
on
minus
FanDuel.
118. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why that is. He is playing, so let me think about this here. Do we want to go like Yossi or Lehkonen or
I did that little ladder shot, so I don't want to get too heavy on that, to be honest.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll go Ben Point.
Okay. Yeah, Michkov point minus 113. Love that. Jamie Ben point tonight. All right, let me add it to the parlay. Betsky, what is your parlay piece?
So we're at Ben point and Chev point?
Yep. Right now we're at plus 206 on DraftKings. While you're thinking of your parlay piece, if anyone is going to any games in the near future, be sure to check out Game Time. Use promo code THPN. You get $20 off your first purchase. That's not just for NHL games. That's across the board with all sports. Also include concerts and other live events, so be sure to check them out. Black Friday is also coming up. Raycon, great earbuds. You get 30% off site-wide with promo code THPN, so check them out as well. Betsky, have we figured out what our last leg of this parlay is?
I'll go Trevor Moore point.
I was hoping you were going to go the Kings. I feel like that's valued.
Yep.
All right, so there it is, the parlay of the night. Svechnikov over half a point, Jamie Benn over half a point, and Trevor Moore over half a point on DraftKings. That's plus 528. Use promo code THPN for $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Guys, anything else to add? Game start in 15 minutes.
Celebrini is in, just FYI.
Love it. Cool. All right. Well, we want to thank everyone for listening and joining us on this Monday afternoon/evening, depending on where you are. Be sure to follow all of our social media accounts on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you guys on Wednesday.